Okay, we're going to take a look at this ladder standoff stabilizer. This is the Ladder-Max. It is their model number ABM 2002, and it is made in the USA. I ended up buying 2 of these, so let's take a look at when you receive them in a box. Each one will come separate in a box. You'll have to put it together, but it's very simple. You need nothing more than a 7/16 nut driver, and that will do it, or you could use a socket and a ratchet, but 7/16, and that's it. Real simple. So you'll get a pack of fasteners. They're stapled to the side of the box, which is kind of nice. That way they're not moving around during shipment. And of course, directions. This thing is really simple. You'll get 2 of these pins with wire locks. That's what's going to hold the standoff on the rail and keep it from coming off. You'll get 10 of these carriage bolts. They're all the same diameter and length, so you won't have to worry about wondering where they go. Likewise, you'll get enough nuts and washers. The only thing you have to remember is they come with 2 different kind of nuts. One is thinner and one is thicker, and the thicker ones will go at the bottom and on the brace, and the thin ones will go on the top piece that has the bracket that puts the angle on, and I'll show you that. Now in the directions, they're saying that everything is 16 gauge heavy duty galvanized steel sheet or the 16 gauge heavy duty galvanized steel tubing. This is the piece that goes at the very top when you put this together. So this will be using the holes that are here. There's the end, the very first set of holes after the bend is where that would go. And then on the bottom end of the holes is where just this piece here would go. You also note that these have been punched out, so since this is going to be sitting on top of your ladder rail, the rung, they've got these punched out so that you get a grip when you're climbing up the ladder. You'll notice that one of the labels on one of the legs is printed black. The other label is printed red. So red R for right. So the one with the red label becomes the one that goes on the right. The black is the left. So when you're assembling this, that's what you would do. So here's that piece. Okay, as you're looking at this, this is the left, this is the right. The red label goes to this side, the black label goes on this side when you're putting it together. And lastly, we have the brace that goes at the very top that keeps the very end of the legs stable, keeps them from spreading, which would be the holes here and here. Now, as to these caps on the end, I did call the company and inquire as to the material that they were made out of. Now, they do come off very easy. They don't fall off, but you can rotate these and pull them right off. And they do come off. So I'm assuming down the road, if you ever had to replace them, I didn't check on that, I'm sure you can buy these. As you can see, they do compress. Now, the guy told me that these are made out of a ZR48 clear plastic. Here you see it from the underside put together. This is where the top part is. This is the bottom part. These four take the thicker nuts, the thickness, they take those, and the top one takes the four thinner nuts. And they are the nylock type, so they won't come loose. Now that's the part that'll fit right over the rung of the ladder right there. As with this. Here's the pin that locks. Attaching this to your ladder is very simple. Take the unit, place it where you want it. And then you'd come in and put your pins in. With that attached, you still will notice though something. This can slide around back and forth and move. Okay? Can't fall off, but it still can go side to side. And when you're placing something like this up on the roof, I much prefer things to be stable and not moving. So I came up with a way to do that. By the way, this is a 14-foot fiberglass, industrial fiberglass straight ladder. So what I'll be using are these 15-inch tarp straps. So here's what I've done. Here's what I found to be the easiest thing to do. I hook it here, I bring it underneath the rung and to the outside, because your feet are going to be stepping in here. So you don't want the bungee cord going here and getting in the way of your feet, because you'll be climbing on these. So I hook it here, bring it underneath, up, and then hook it here. So likewise, we'll do this one. Take the hook, hook it here, pull the strap really tight, come up here and hook it there. So now, look at this. It goes up and down because that bracket is a little wider than the step to ensure it fits, but it doesn't go all around. I can lift this ladder and tip it and it stays. It's not going to slide around when I'm getting up on the roof. You can see I'm actually moving the ladder. I just find this to be much more stable. I know where it's at. And when I'm putting it up, I don't have things moving to change the center, you know, to change the distribution of the weight. So that's what I was looking for when doing this. Nothing's going to move, because this is going to be towards the top of your ladder, and there's going to be that extra weight, so it makes it a little bit harder. You know, you got more weight on one side, it's not going to be as evenly distributed, the weight. One other thing, they do recommend that you have 12 inches in between, the inside between rails on the inside for this unit to work. So I bring that up. I have a 24-foot industrial fiberglass extension ladder, and the narrowest section is 13.5 inches, so it more than works with that particular ladder. Okay guys, here you see it up on my roof. Here you see the step they provide, or that they turn into a step by putting those, punching that out. So it gives you a gripping surface. Same here. Here it is sitting up on the asphalt roof itself. I'm going to be putting on a new roof here in a couple months and getting everything ready. I would definitely say you've got to be careful with these, being the fact that you'll notice that when it sits in there, you see how it's setting right on that. Now the guy told me from Ladder-Max that it won't damage the roof. Obviously said you don't want to drag it. Now this is an old roof. This roof and the house here is probably approaching, I think it's approaching, that was done in 1978. So this is held up very, very well. But obviously I need a new one. I've been putting it off, and I'm going to do that. So that would be the only concern I have. I guess I'll find out is, you know, damage to the roof from these. One of my things I was thinking about doing was possibly putting a towel over it. Putting a towel over this and then just securing it here, tying it off here. But I don't know. It looks like it's not doing anything here, but I may just do that. This is just something to think about.